welcome back to an episode. We are in the camp of the lower city of Baldur's Gate. Or basically it's the sewers system or whatnot. Kind of looks like a forgotten, simple port side or whatnot. Anyway, the idea is to do a little bit of leveling right now because we managed to defeat the last group of Githyanki, and it's time for us to level up once more. And now actually something interesting happens for us because we are gonna get the third multiclass. But yeah, let's just start with Astarion instead. And keep his roguiness pure. Oh, what is this one? That's an interesting thing. When you make an ability check with a skill you are proficient with, the lowest result you can roll on the die is 10. Yeah, look at that. The lowest result that you can roll is a 10. That's actually quite interesting. Wait a minute. If you have reliable talent, the interesting thing about this rogue stuff is that it says, yeah, it's a class feature. Oh, this is interesting. An ability check. And ability checks are strength, dexterity, constitution, and whatnot. Okay, so it has nothing to do with the other... No, wait a minute. Ability check with a skill you are proficient. Wait. What are we actually rolling here? Because skills, a specific aspect of an ability. Every time you use a skill, you make an ability check. Yeah. It still doesn't tell you anything about that though, but skills in here might be sleight of hand or acrobatic or athleticism or arcane or whatever, anything like that. That's a skill. Right, and abilities are strength and dexterity and whatever. Tests whether an action is successful based on dice rolls. Yeah, your ability modifier, any bonuses, and the check's difficulty class. Yes. So, and these are the abilities. I always mix up the wording because the word ability seems... I mean, it kind of makes sense. You are able to do something. But in this case, is an ability strength? It enables you to live more? In a way, it makes... Yeah. You can call it a stat, as in a number related to a character, right? Usually I call them attribute points for some reason. But an attribute might be attributed, meaning connected to. But in this case, it also doesn't really help explain what it might be, right? The word stat, statistics, character numbers, that is the thing that explains it more. Anyway, the thing is, if you start with D&D, this is normal vocabulary for you, right? But if you come the other way around, from like other RPGs or whatnot, you have different words in your head, and it kind of confuses the hell out of you. And this is just it. Anyway, so when you make an ability check with a skill you are proficient with, I think again it's like sleight of hand or whatnot. So you can never roll anything below 10, which is great. But I would also think that ability checks work when it comes to saving throws, because of all of the difficulty classes. The thing is, you can never roll a 1, right? This is actually really good. So if you are a rogue, very high level, like 11 or whatnot, actually almost maxed out, you can make it so that you never roll anything lower than 10. Even a 1, a critical miss, might be safeguarded with that, right? So that means the only thing that you need to make sure is you have enough bonuses to meet whatever requirements are necessary to get items or to do things from equipment. meaning that if you have, let's say, a sleight of hand difficulty of, let's say, 18, and you roll a 10 because of this reliable talent thing, that means that you need at least +8 points somehow through other means, through other bonuses. And then they get added onto it, and you are always on the safe side. This is amazing. It's really reliable talent. The thing is, we haven't even chosen anything. Why does it say Ranger? We're not rangering anything in here. We're skipping to another character here. Lae'zel, the fighter. Always somewhat difficult, but the nice thing about level 11 is that it's not one of those 4 levels where you have to select a feat. Because feats are, well, at the beginning they're easy to select because you're selecting the coolest ones. And then like after you select 2 of those, you already have taken pretty much everything that you need. And every other feat, you're like, okay, which one could still be beneficial or whatnot. On the other hand, you can just select any attribute bonuses. Like the first 2 are just there to enable your character to do special things. And then they're just ability. These kind of numbers that can improve. Anyway, level 11 improved extra attack. Level 11 seems to be a very nice level for those things. You get cool stuff. Special passive abilities. You can make 2 additional attacks after attacking with your main hand weapon. Very important. The condition here. I mean, most of those players of the game already know that. But sometimes I do forget that, right? You have to use a main hand weapon attack. That also includes bows and arrows, or like crossbow or whatnot. So any weapon attack, basically. It's also not me. Yeah, it's called main hand. Nice. So if you use a weapon attack, you can do 2 additional attacks with that weapon if you are fighter level 11, which is 6 attacks in total for 1 action. No, wait a minute. Yeah. So for her, it's 2 actions, and then if we have a haste potion, we get another action. So yeah, just once basically, but that doesn't really matter. So we have our haste potion. We have the bonus action, and then we have. Like, this is 3 actions basically, and 3 actions can have each of them 3 attacks. And if you play this right, you can crit pretty much all the time, which means that the fighter is basically a killing machine, which is amazing. It's like one of those first encounters with the Githyanki. It was extremely difficult to defeat those fellows. And it kind of showed you how dangerous a fighter can actually be, right? They came to you, and then they hit you once, twice, thrice, whatever, how many times, and it was absolutely absurd. And this one right now, this is your powerhouse, basically. And then I can use the throw. Can I use throw? I actually don't know how many times I can use throw. You can make 2 additional attacks after attacking with your main hand weapon. I actually don't know if throwing counts as 2 additional. I think so. Yeah, I was always throwing like twice, I think. Yeah. So yeah, anything that makes your weapon hit someone else. That's basically a main hand weapon attack. Even if you throw it. So. And we are still skipping on our little thing, because look at how much you have to select here. This is ridiculous. And now Karlach. My little barbarian at level 11. This is an enormous amount of health. Gain a passive and change bestial heart. We're not going to change bestial heart. I mean, it makes sense to change the bestial heart stuff. If you know what kind of enemies you're going to fight, right? it's just kind of questionable. Why do you want to fight? Why do you want to change how your character operates, or like your what your character is, right? I mean, it does give you certain opportunities to reskill. You can think of this as a reskilling of your character, right? But yeah, it only really makes sense looking at what happened before, meaning that you're fighting enemies, and then you know, okay, this enemy behaves a certain way and another one behaves a certain way, and I have certain problems or whatnot. So let's say I'm not tanky enough, I have to go with a bear. I'm not attacking that much, or I'm always using like jump attacks or attacking from the high ground or whatnot. So I'm using a different kind of bestial heart. The thing about this is that you always look at the enemies that you have fought, and in the future it could be different enemies and your problems could be in a different form. It would be just nice to have a bestial heart thing, like a buff that you activate between long rests. That would make sense. Or maybe like a ritual spell. Yeah, you can use it, but not in combat, right? You can prepare beforehand. You're kind of invoking a certain bestial spirit. You can activate it, basically, like an aura or whatever. And then it stays active forever, pretty much. Or at least until you change it, but you can only change it outside combat. And it doesn't even matter how, when your next long rest is or whatever. You could bind it to long rests, but it would just be nice to not limit it to a level up, but rather to a long rest change. That would make the Wild Heart Barbarian a bit, or like, what's it actually called? I don't know what this Barbarian is called. Wild Heart, yeah. That actually makes the Wild Heart Barbarian feel more real-ish. Because they can just have different bestial spirits on them. Not at the same time though, and also not changing in combat, but they're just evoking those things. Anyway, a little bit of whining about ease of use stuff. I just don't like it when you have to level up a character and then just reselect certain stuff. It just doesn't make sense. Like, you're leveling up a character, you're progressing, basically, you're developing the character, but somehow you are going back in your development because you're changing different things. If you're trying to change your character, you should do this not in the level up screen, but on a different kind of screen or whatnot. And the system should be completely different. Anyway, whining a little bit, but that's just what I feel about it in general, right? So, Relentless Rage, once per short rest, so fairly often. If you drop to 0 hit points while enraged, you gain 1 hit point instead of being downed. That's nice. But there's there's a catch here. Catch 22. While you are enraged, so you have to be raging first. Yeah. That's the thing that is somewhat tricky, because I'm not always raging, because I want to use the smite spells. Deals an additional 3 damage with the melee and improvised weapons, and while throwing objects has resistance to physical damage, advantage on strength check. Wait a minute. Is this a general rage condition, or is this rage condition dependent on the bestial heart? Yeah, while raging, exactly. This is my normal raging mode. And this is what happened. The interesting bit about this is that you deal more damage and you are more resistant to it. So you're not actually dying that much. Except when it comes to this stuff. Okay, while raging you can use diving strike. Foes also have a disadvantage on opportunity attacks against you. And you can use dash as a bonus action. Okay, dash bonus action is actually pretty good. But this is more like jump as a bonus. Is jump a bonus action? I don't know. Yeah, jump is a bonus action. But eagle is more sky oriented, right? Anyway, diving strike needs high ground in order for this to work. You won't take falling damage, which is actually quite nice, but only while you use this diving attack. So, and you have to use rage in order to make this work, right? You cannot dive without rage. This might be something like, let's say you think, yeah, okay, I can just jump down and attack them, use a diving attack normally, and then you forgot to rage. This would be so annoying. Anyway, yeah, foes also have disadvantage on opportunity attacks. This means that you can just weasel your way around enemies. Yeah, you're not gonna get hit, and you can move very far. So that means you can move your Barbarian towards the high priority target, which is always the one with the highest health, pretty much. Or the one that is summoning up a very special spell or whatnot, like the portal ones. While raging, you can use Primal Stampede, and your movement speed increases by 4.5 meters. While raging. Does it mean that the movement speed increases while raging, or is it a general thing? Anyway, what's this? Primal Stampede, charge forward, attacking all enemies in the way, and possibly knocking them prone. Possibly knocking them prone is pretty cool. How far does it go? 9 meters. Not that far. But if you think about it, knocking enemies prone is a pretty good CC ability. You just charge forward and everyone in their way is done for. Available only when raging, sure, but attacking all enemies in the way, yeah. And possibly the thing about attacking enemies like this is that it could trigger their parries. Of course, you're wasting your prone ability like this, but you are also getting rid of their enemy's parry. That means you're opening up the enemy for additional teammate damage, which is good. So the Elk is a team damage introduction, whatever character. So basically means the Barbarian goes in first, and the team follows up second. The Eagle here is just focused damage on a very specific target. That's the thing that makes the most sense. And you're ignoring everyone else pretty much. The Tiger Heart, while raging, you can use Tiger's Bloodlust, and your jump distance increases. Again, movement seems to be of importance. Lash out to attack up to 3 enemies at once. Okay, and this is like a multi-enemy thing. This is the thing. If you only use this Bestial Heart stuff, every level up, you can only select, okay, I'm usually fighting this or this or this, and then you are basically choosing a red herring ability. What I mean by this is a red herring stuff in games is usually a selection that always backfires. That is just there for you to select something, but it doesn't really have any positive effects, or the positive effects are not high enough for normal situations. In this case here, the ability mean, like, if you look at an like, let's say you, like with the Githyanki, you see how the enemy is positioned, like 2 of them on the left, a few of them on the right, 1 of them in the center, something like that. You know exactly, do I want to take down the group first, or do I want to focus on a single target? And in this case, it would be nice to invoke a certain spirit heart, or a spirit heart, a certain animal heart, right? A wild heart in this case, before combat, and not every time you level up. Because that, again, limits the character to only be used as in a special way. Or maybe you just ignore the whole raging business altogether and use it very rarely. Actually, I do only use it if I think she's going to die, because I use the bear heart all the time. Anyway, so this is AoE, multi-enemy damage business. Tag out. And what about the wolf thing? While raging, you can use Inciting Howl. Each ally within earshot. This is a bit iffy. Can move an additional 3 meters during their next turn. Okay. In earshot. Might be 9 meters. Okay, in earshot. Does it mean that you have to be in within 9 meters, and you have to hear the ability, or and you have to hear that skill while it is being used, or it's like an aura? That would also be very interesting. I think it's more like an aura, something like that. No, it's not like an aura. It's like a... Yeah, you have to use it, you trigger it, and you have to be in range. And if you have to be in range, it's a little bit weird. And it's also just an action, right? you're wasting your damage potential with this stuff. Definitely not good. So what about the rest of it? And your allies have advantage on melee attack rolls against enemies within 2 meters of you. This is good. Actually, Wolfheart is pretty good. The idea is to have a pack of... Actually, this one, together with Lae'zel, might be a very good way of fighting enemies. So you go in there, you start raging, and then Lae'zel just follows up and attack rolls against enemies within 2 meters. 2 meters is basically melee range, meaning that you are going close to an enemy and you basically pull all of the other melee fighters with you because of the movement speed bonus. Yeah. You can use the Wolfheart thing if you have multiple barbarians. Actually, you can use like a pack of barbarians. All of them having different abilities, like different wild hearts. And the one that goes in there and starts everything is usually like the yeah, who's going to start it? That's a good question. So the first one is the Stampede dude who just rushes in. Actually, everyone is just moving on their own, but it would be better if the Wolfheart... yeah, that's the one that actually focuses a specific enemy, I would say. Anyway, we are not going to change anything. We are keeping the Bearheart. Because Bearheart is amazing. And now, for one of the last 2 final touches, we are not going to change any enemies or natural spells or whatever. We are going to multiclass. And we're not going to multi-class into... Oh, that would be very nice. Oh. This would actually be very nice. Because you have some insight bonuses. Because we are the main character and we are having most of the interactions with other characters and the world and whatnot. And using this in dialogue is actually very nice. You cannot use your companions in order to point out stuff while you're talking with someone. So they're not like, have you noticed that? Or something like that. You have to do this on your own, meaning that all of those skills in here are basically dialogue and main character oriented, except for very specific ones like Sleight of Hand. But like we are very high in terms of dexterity, so that would be actually a good bonus there. Dexterity, stealth, or stealing, like those two go together pretty much. That's your thief. Everything down here, I mean, you can put it on other characters that are just going to look for chests and whatnot, but this is more like it helps out in dialogue more often than not. Persuasion. This is basically your main character's ability, and it's always charisma, and it's so annoying that it is charisma. I'm a little bit whining about it. But yeah, you cannot really use other skills in conversation with other characters. Very rarely. Insight, for example. Or was it Insight? Yeah, I think it was Insight or Investigation or something like that. That gave you the opportunity to see how enemies are going to behave or whatnot. Anyway, we're not going to increase Ranger by another point or Rogue by another point. We are going to go for our finish here. The thing is, it would be better to use Wisdom. The thing is, I don't want to split it too much. But the thing is, I wanted to go Wizard from the beginning, but I kind of like re-skilled there. The thing is, I could go for Cleric. That would be nice, because Cleric uses Wisdom. The problem with Cleric, though... the thing is, I have my little sheet open here, where I can see what I'm gonna take. Now, the real question is, what is it that I'm going to take? Yeah. Wait a minute. What if I could use 2 other classes, all of them at level 1, or I could use one class with 2 levels. We could use this one here with a heal. Doesn't really matter because we have heal potions. They basically behave the same way. The cantrips are actually very nice, but we are not really focusing on cantrips. We are more focusing on... yeah, what is it that we are focusing on? It's interesting that we can select subclasses at level 1. Ah, there, that's a defense thing. You gain 1 bonus to armor class. This is one reason why I want to get at least 1 more level in fighter, because of this shenanigan right here. It's just annoying. It's really good. 200 protection when you have a shield. Imposes advantage on attack against your allies when you are within Yeah, I'm not going to stand next to them. Melee weapon that is not two-handed or versatile in one hand, and no weapon. Oh, this is the thing. Fighting styles. I was looking for this in the feats, but it's not in the feats, it's in the fighting styles. And one in the hand and no weapon in the other. You deal an additional 2 damage with that weapon. That's the thing that I was looking for. You can carry a shield in your free hand and still gain this bonus. Oh. Oh, this is amazing. This is amazing. Dueling is really good. I was looking for dueling. But I was looking at it every time I leveled up the character with feats and whatnot. But it was at the wrong spot. You really have to prepare a little bit of a character sheet in order to know what you're going to put your, or where you're going to put your points into when you make an attack with your offhand weapon. You can add your ability modifier. Yeah, no. We're not going to do that. Monk is also kind of funny, but we're not going to use that one. Let's just look at all of the different options that we have, just because I really like multiclassing and all of this. Like, the game itself is already great, but leveling up characters and just choosing this and this and this and this is just, oh, I could do this for ages, hours, pretty much. But yeah, this was that. Preparing cantrips. There are interesting kind of... The problem about all of those abilities is that you may have a large variety of skills that you know, but you are always limited by actions. And in the end, you always use your strongest action in terms of damage potential and whatnot. Sometimes the action that you choose depends on the enemy, so it's like you have to select something that's frosty, sometimes you have to select something that's more fiery or whatever. Or sometimes you want to have utility abilities or utility actions, like binding characters in place, hold person, for example, so that the rest of the team can follow up and whatnot. So this is actually very good. It's just that you can take an awful lot of different spells, but you are only using one each turn, if you're not using any haste potions or whatever. And this is the thing that is fundamentally limiting how you take, what it is that you're going to do with your character. If you really think about it, combat does not go on forever. It's usually over within, I don't know how many turns. 5? I think. Could be. I don't know. Definitely, rarely more than 10 turns, right? And if you know that usually the fight is over within like 5 turns or something like that, if you have your whole team. It's an awful lot of actions that happen, but only 5 times. So that means you only need to be able to do 5 very important actions. And then everything is okay. You don't need to do an awful lot of different things. So... deal 2 extra damage with melee and improve. No, this is melee stuff. Okay. What about the bard stuff? Bard was cool. Vicious mockery. Hey, you over there. You suck. That's just cool. Psychic damage. Enchantment cantrip. The fact that it's a cantrip is actually very cool. What kind of... Wait a minute. Yeah. If you think about it, going for a shit-talking character like a bard and always using this cantrip might be very funny. Insult creature, it has disadvantage on its next attack roll. Okay, next attack roll is very limiting. Next attack. Meaning that it's not attack rolls for the next turn, it's one attack roll. So if it's a fighter, the first one may fail, but the second one hits you in the knee. And yeah, what else we got? We got heroism, make yourself or a target immune to frighten. Ooh, immune to frighten. But wait a minute. If you're immune to frightened, does it get rid of any frightened effects? Or does it get rid of future frightened effects? Right? That's the thing. Like you can... it doesn't... Like you are already getting frightened, but then you are immune to frightened. But only future frightened effects that will affect you. Anyway, Touch the City of Hideous Laughter is something that we can already do here. Then Dissonant Whispers. Frighten a creature that have disadvantage on ability checks. And wait a minute. That was a very annoying ability. And Dissonant Whispers. 18 meters. That's a very long distance. I have to say, like, the Bard has a very interesting playstyle and very interesting damage types. Like, psychic mostly. That's really cool. It's a very nifty, very dark, almost, kind of playstyle. Deception, proficiency, da-da-da-da. Yeah, we can change a little bit over here, a little bit over there. Inherited from background, da-da-da-da-da-da. Interesting, always different symbols. Now, it is kind of cool and all. Also the dancing lights, minor illusions and whatnot. Yeah, minor illusions. That was the focus that I had at the beginning. And I was looking for like wizard or whatnot. But let's just look at clerics. Wait a minute. Ah, there we go. Spell save, DC is 13. But in this case, it's your own DC, I think. Yeah, it's always kind of weird because it's not the DC of like or is it your own ability? Wait. Yeah, it's somewhat convoluted because this number is not quite right. So, let's see. Blade Ward, Thaumaturgy. I really like those buffs. So, what kind of subdomain thingies do we want? What's this one? You already know the spell. The spell is a better version of one you already know. You will only have access to this one. Wait. That's nice as a safety feature. It's kind of weird. So we know Bless, but this one is a better Bless than the one before. Oh! Because of this thing. The primary ability. Before, the primary ability was on Dexterity. That's weird. Does anything backfire if I choose a different primary ability? No, that would be a bit iffy. Anyway, this stuff is could help in certain dialogues, but actually it doesn't really matter. So let's see. I really like those domains. They're kind of interesting. So light domain was kind of cool and all, but I already am pretty fairly lit, I would say. Trickery domain is another thing that kind of resonated with me. It's like more roguey, whatnot. Grant another creature advantage on stealth checks. Another creature. Could be yourself, but against concentration. How many times? Oh. As long as it needs be. Nice. The sky itself was pretty sweet. The fact that it is a ritual spell is not told to you, but this is a ritual thing, mostly. Yeah, you don't really see it, but it's a ritual spell. Interesting, interesting, interesting. So, knowledge domain. Oh no, wait a minute. If you click on this... Wait. There you go. Wait a minute. Huh? Okay, that's kind of weird. Okay, so you... Oh. These things are already always getting unlocked. But you don't see them in here, which is weird. You gain spells from your domain. They are always prepared. These ones, for example. So. There you go. Knowledge. That's also a very interesting one. What abilities we got in here? Right. And if you think about it, knowledge domain is pretty cool. I don't really know how many times you have a bonus on abilities though, but Arcana and History bonuses are pretty good. +4. Ooh, yeah. Could help in terms of dialogue. Knowledge domain, pretty neat. Underrated almost. Let's see. Yeah, those spells are always the same. What else we got? Command. Wait. So knowledge domain gets command just for free. Very interesting. Like a Jedi ability pretty much. Sleep and command. This thing can be very powerful. It's like hold person, but the Jedi version of it. So nature domain is like a wannabe druid with armor. Animal friendship, acolyte and nature, you learn a druid cantrip and become proficient in animal handling, nature or survival. Oh, okay, so you have to select. Do you have to select? Yeah, you have to select. It's not as good as knowledge domain though. It doesn't even tell you what you can select here. Anyway. This is animal friendship, speaking with... I already can talk with animals, so that is, doesn't really matter. The cantrip, on the other hand, is pretty neat. But only if you use it, yeah, in order to improve your weapon. Your staff or club. I'm not using any... Wait a minute. I'm using a mace. It's pointy, yes, but it's more like a clubbing kind of utility. So, and then there's I'm actually either going for War Priest for the War domain or Tempest domain. The thing is, there's like thunder stuff as a reaction. There you go. Strike back at an attacking creature, dealing lightning or thunder damage. The target takes half damage on a successful saving throw. It says or, so we probably have to select which one they're gonna get hit in the face with. So, War Priest. When you make an unarmed or weapon attack, the crossbow, you can spend a War Priest charge to make an additional attack as a bonus action. It's basically like the third attack of the fighter. Oh, this is amazing. If you have War Priest, like let's say you have 11 levels of fighter, so you can attack 3 times. And then you have a War Priest, and you do this one here, and you can use another War Priest charge. The question is, how many War Priest charges do you have? It doesn't really tell you how many War Priest charges you're gonna get. Yeah, You do get some proficiencies though. Do you? Martial weapons? Yeah. Martial weapon stuff. This is... And heavy armor. Could be very helpful, but I'm interested in the medium kind of stuff there. This is just equipment stuff. Then we also got this one. Concentration, again. It's nice, but nah. What else? Your weapon attacks deal an additional damage. That can be... It uses a spell slot, doesn't really matter. But we can use it in order to buff our crossbow. And then we can deal more damage multiple times. It's really nice. But yeah, I'm kind of like split between this one here, Trickery Domain. Actually, Trickery, Knowledge, all of those gimmicky kind of things here. Anyway, the main idea was to go and finish as a wizard. Because wizards can learn spells, and we have a bag full of spells. It will be very, very, very expensive to learn all of those things, but I just love it. Alright. So... ability checks. Unbloody believable. Let's just hope this works. I don't know if we can actually make this work or not. But yeah, let's just finish with a few levels in Wizard. The idea is to get 2 levels in Wizard and to get the minor illusion cantrip that we can use as a bonus action. Bonus actions are important. That's why we got the rogue with the 2 bonus actions. So we can summon a cat. The enemies are turning around. If that is working or not, I don't know. And we can follow up with like additional attacks and pump them down. This is the general idea behind it. And then we can also maybe improve how Astarion can be utilized. That could have some interesting teammate bonuses, whatever. And also replenishing spell slots while out of combat. That's pretty neat. Usually I don't really run out of spell slots because I use Foglight rarely. The thing is, if the enemy is not moving, Foglight's very good. But if they are moving, it's very annoying. So, anyway. What is it that we want? Mage Hand. There's a problem about the Cantrip Mage Hand because this is limited to long rests or something like that. And it uses an action, so it's not like the rogue leisured main thing. Anyway, so it doesn't really matter what I choose because I can learn if. Wait a minute, no. We don't really need the Ray of Frost. Actually, we also don't need the Actually, do we need the Firebolt? The Firebolt would actually be very helpful, but no, I like my gimmicky spells. Shocking Grasp, kinda cool. All of those things that you can cast without limits. Minor Illusion would actually be a very cool one. I don't know if you can learn this. Yeah, there is a scroll with Minor Illusion or something like that. Or maybe it was Invisibility. I don't know what it was. Wait a minute. Let's just get out of it real quick. Because I want to know.
No time to rest.
Where's the thing? What's my bag with scrolls? Something illusion. Yeah, this is invisibility. Is there illusion? Nope, there's not. Okay, so we cannot learn cantrips. So cantrips you have to select by leveling, I think. So that means, are we going for Firebolt? Yes or no? Tricky. Because what happens if we have lost our weapons? That means we cannot use any ranger abilities. Tricky. We're gonna get rid of this one, and we're gonna get rid of this one. We are going to get Minor Illusion because it's funny. This is the thing that we have selected already. And it says gain advantage on your next attack roll, right? It's not that it has anything to do with an enemy. It's just our own buff. We buff ourselves. So yeah, we can just select anything. When it comes to dealing damage, it's 3d8. I think it's like a 1d8 at the beginning, and every time you level it deals a little bit more damage. In this case it's 3d10. It's always a 1d whatnot. Infuse an object with an aura of light. I mean, we don't need to do that. It's a cool thing though. There's also a cool thing though. Okay, wait. Projectile puff of noxious gas. Yes, but most enemies are immune to it. Damages each creature it hits. Can it be like an AoE or whatnot? Prevent the target from healing until your next turn. An undead target receives disadvantage on attack rolls. Good. Hurl a modifier. Which one of those does the most damage? Poison. most enemies are immune to poison? That's a tricky thing. Having the light bonus is cool, together with the rings. Okay, take only half the damage from bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing attacks. That's good. And it... Wait. Huh. Interesting. There's no concentration on it, so it cannot be broken. It has resistance against... So if there are physical enemies nearby, this is a good way of getting out of it. Problem? It's an action. Gain advantage on charisma checks. Against a non-hostile creature. The spell can be cast while you are silenced. In higher difficulty modes, the target might accuse you of enchanting them. It's a concentration thing. It's a cantrip that you can use all the time. It's definitely good if your character is not that potent when it comes to charisma stuff. Which is me right now. But yeah, dancing lights. Do they do anything other than make things glow? Illuminate things in a 9-meter radius. But I have like see in the dark, so that doesn't really matter. Infuse an object until long rest, so this one can be used all the time. But it's only good for a specific bright light kind of fighting style. The mage hand is just funny, this is why I'm gonna keep it. Now the real question is, which one of those cantrips am I going to keep? I mean, we already know the Ray of Frost, right? So the Shocking Grasp is a reaction that we do. So we know this one already. So we should either go for the Firebolt or the Poison Spray. The thing is this... Oh, wait a minute. We should look for the distance. 18, 18, 18, 3 meters. It's basically puking at anime. Why not? Okay, this is like 1 meter, whatever. But this one would be very nice in order to ignite certain things. If I don't have any arrows on me. But I do have arrows on me most of the time. Pooh, questions upon questions upon questions. Okay, this gets really tricky. We're gonna go with Poison Spray. For some reason, the idea of poison resonates with me more than other things. Tasha's Hideous Laughter, we don't need this one. What kind of spells can I even select? We don't need Fog Cloud because we already know this one. Doesn't really matter. The cloud blinds and heavily obscures creatures within it, and enemies cannot roll against this thing, which is amazing. Because if they stand in there, they're gonna get affected no matter what. Grease, very cool one. With all of the other stuff, this guy, yeah, now we're gonna get all of the tricky stuff. So we're gonna get Disguise Self, and we're gonna get Expeditious Retreat, and we can get Featherfall. Thunderwave, on the other hand, release a wave that pushes away all creatures and objects. It's the almighty push kind of thing. Does it go forward? Could go in a way around you, yes. So, all of those tricky kind of spells that I really like to use. We don't need to select anything that I already know, like Longstrider or whatnot, right? Wait a minute, what if we select... Yeah. We don't need to select all of the yellow ones, because we can cast them no matter what. Color Spray is cool, but it's somewhat limited by the hit points. The combined hit point thing only works against lower level creatures. You just blind them, and it basically makes sure that it's only like a main kind of character that works. Charm Person. And there's a charm. Wait. Gain advantage on charisma saving. Oh. Okay. Charm a humanoid to prevent it from attacking you. You gain advantage on charisma checks in dialogue. Yeah, it says in higher difficulty modes. We are not in higher difficulty modes. We are in normal difficulty modes. If you know that, then that means you can use the spell safely in order to cheese the system a little bit. Enemies have advantage on saving throws against being charmed. What? Enemies have advantage? Oh, come on. Well, it kind of makes sense. They're enemies. They're not really that lovely, right? So, the chromatic orb is actually a very kind of funny thing. So, which one do we go for? Sleep? Put a creature into a magical slumber. Select targets up to a combined 24 hit points. Interesting. It doesn't explain how that one goes. And also, wait a minute. It ends upon taking damage, and it only stays there for 2 turns. Right, it's an interesting preparation. But again, we are wasting damage that could have happened. It's always nice to have a damage and CC ability at the same time. Oh, look at this. When you are about to be hit by an enemy, increase your armor class by 5. You take no damage from magic missile. Huh. Oh, this is good. Maybe I should get this one instead. We don't need fun. We're not going for damage in here. There's no damage that we need for spells. Yeah, spells don't need to be damaging. We're gonna get the reaction with a shield spell. That's just kind of cool. And it's spells. I'm a wizard in this case. I can select any spell I want. So there's sleep or there's color spray. The problem with color spray, this one is limited by the hit points, right? I could also just use a fog light and get the same effect. The thing is, if I use blind, I could maybe use it against characters that stand a little further away, right? It's just a positioning thing. And then there's sleep. The thing is, I don't know how this works. What I mean by this is that you select by maximum hit points, right? So let's say you have 2 enemies that have 8 hit points each. Or like 12, let's say. You can select both of them and it works. But what if you have an enemy that has 18 hit points and another one that has also 18 hit points? You select the first one, it works. The second one doesn't work. What does it? Do you just need enough hit points to select another character? Or do you need the full amount of their hit points in order to put them to sleep? Right? This is actually something that I'm kind of interested in. Wait a minute. BG free. Color spray. Works. There you go. Color spray is level 1 illusion. The spell allows spellcasters temporarily blind enemies with flashing colors. And help to understand how this works. Yeah, creature affected by the... It's not how it works. It's more like how the hit point thingy works. The combined hit points off. Incantation of color spray. Yada yada yada. Creatures up to combined hit points of 33. Does it mean that you have... that it doesn't work on a creature that, for example, has like 34 hit points? Of a creature within 40 feet, the first one affected is the one with the lowest current HP, which, let's say, so look at that. There. There are now 32 hit points, no, 23 hit points of the spell remaining. Go to the creature with the next lowest hit points, which, let's say, is an orc with 17. And then there's like 6 left. Good. Then go to the next creature, also an orc, which has 19 current hit points. It's not affected since 6 isn't equal to or higher than 19. Only initial 2 creatures are blinded. Interesting. They have 10 HP. The creature's blinded and you subtract them. The thing about these hit point limits is that it feels as if it's only working against low-level characters, so this is a low-level spell, right? I don't know how to improve that. Maybe you can upcast the thing. Oh, wait a minute. Upcasting. Upcasting. Upcast. Casting the spell at higher level increases the combined hit points total by 11 for each spell slot above the first. Upcasting is a very potent way of making this thing more usable. The problem is you always need a very high level cast for this to be actually useful, right? Because enemies have higher hit points, probably. Sleep is cool, but sleep only works against low-level creatures. What about the upcast? It doesn't really say anything about the upcast. Oh wait, prepared spells. Ugh. This is something that I had not in mind. We can learn spells, we can only prepare a few of those. Okay. That's a little tricky now. And why is the Ray of Frost all of a sudden not prepared? Why is that one in here? Makes no sense. Strange. Anyway, I'm gonna go with a Chromatic Orb because this is the most gimmicky of them all. There you go. So, which one of those are we going to prepare? Like the Fog Cloud is always prepared, I hope. Oh yeah, wait a minute. We should save before we do that. Because I'm not quite sure what happens if we actually finish the level up. Took a little while, I know. Quick stuff. Oh, come on. Crap. Anyway. Chromatic Orb. Okay, so Grease is always nice to have. And Featherfall. Should we go with gimmicks? Disguise self, magically change all aspects of your character. Nah. Gain dash immediately and as a bonus action on each of your turns until the spell ends. Immediately. But you have to... It's a concentration thing. And it's not good outside combat. Oh. Oh. I'm gonna go with Mirror Image. There you go. That's one of the spells that I actually wanted because of the... Wait. For yourself, that distracts attackers. It duplicate increases your armor class by 3. It has nothing to do with the armor that you're wearing. Very important. For 10 turns. Very cool. So, cover the ground in grease, slowing the characters creating within and possibly making them fall prone. It's like ice. Okay, so we got like ice and armor. Very good spells. You and nearby allies gain immunity to falling damage for 10 turns. Should I keep it? I don't know. Let's just select the things that we have right now and continue. Hey, and look at that. Fog Cloud. Affects a larger. Whoa. Upcasting is actually a very cool idea. It would be nice to know. Like, this is wisdom? Yeah, wait. Yeah, spellcasting ability wisdom, right? Very important. And this one is somewhat different. But yeah, only for 10 turns. You can save yourself a lot of trouble with it. So, this is a cantrip. Cantrips are... let's just sort them a little bit. This one goes down here. This is like a character thingy that goes down there. Ooh, what's another cantrip? Also very special. This is also a cantrip. Ray of Frost. That one goes down here. Why can't I use them all of a sudden? I think I learned them before. So, mirror image. Wait a minute. Since when do I know the Ray of Frost cantrip? Uh-oh. I think I selected the wrong cantrip. Right. Cover the ground in grease. Yes, conjuration spell. So this is a spell. This is a spell. Yeah. That spell goes up here. This one goes up here. And this is a ritual thingy. Short rest. Annoying, but okay. Let's keep it like that. yeah. Tricky. The thing is, our damage with the crossbow doesn't really increase that much. I don't know why. We have decent dexterity. But somehow we can't really put it into real damage in terms of crossbows. Why? Where's our damage? Why did it go? Where's our crossbow? Maybe... No. I don't know why, but I can't really make any good sense of it. Grease. Probably also increases the... Wait, what? Casting a spell at higher level doesn't grant any additional benefits, so why would you even want to do that? I mean, it would be nice if you could cast this one, right? Arcane recovery charges. Is... Hoi? Oh, you can actually select what you want, right? Recover a level 2 spell slot, so you need 2 of those. Or level 1 spell slot. And the question is, what level 1 spell slot do we want? Like, this one makes you able to use the Foglight more often. That's pretty sweet. Only issue, this one is another action, so you shouldn't use it in combat, more like out of combat. In order to get another one of those. It's like another short rest bonus, almost. So we are a little bit of bard, a little bit of that. Oh, it's a... Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. No. There you go. Back to normal, I think. Okay, there are no other abilities there. Tricky. Wait a minute, where is the stuff? I think it's K. We got ranger spells, those things. We got a little bit of rogue. Now comes the interesting bit. This is the stuff that we have selected. Mage armor only works if we have no armor, but we have armor, so... And then there's the thing. Learn more spells. The secret button to make the wizard as powerful as you can get. Now, the only problem is it's somewhat limited to... Wait a minute. Question? How many spell slots we actually got? I think we can get 1 level 3 spell slot or something like that. Oh boy. That's not good. So we are only limited to level 1 and level 2 spell slots. So we can only do the most basic kind of things. Wait, that's toggleable? Fiends and undead standing in the light are blinded unless they succeed a constitution save roll. That's interesting. So if you don't want to get seen, you can just hide your weapon. I didn't know you can actually talk. Toggleable passive feature. I don't see any toggleable passives. Huh? Maybe items? Common? Ranger? Custom? Weird. Very weird. The only level 4 spell that we can use is the Sunbane. And this one here, Speak with the Dead, all the time, because we learned it through different means. Very interesting. And reactions. Oh, this is just really nice. Warcaster, sure. Spell not prepared. What? When you are about to be hit by... Oh. Right. You need to prepare that spell now. Sweet. This thing here. So should we keep grease or not? Because the nice thing is that you can just can't... It's basically like shooting a... How much damage does it actually do when it ignites? It's flammable. We don't know. Whatever. Let's see. We have an awful lot of... Is it all the spells in our bag? Could be. Anyway, the good ones that I'm focusing on are only the level... level 2 spell slots. There are a few... Haste is actually level 3. But for haste, like haste uses an action, and drinking a haste potion is a bonus action, right? When the condition ends, become lethargic. And this one stays there for 10 turns, which is actually quite nice. Problem is, it's concentration, and once this one goes away, you're screwed. Gain an action, become faster, and gain +2 to armor class. And this is actually amazing. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to get Wizard. Because it's cool. It's another one of those cool gimmick spells. What about Fly? Can you use Fly out of combat? It's not a ritual spell, sadly. Anyway. Oh, Arcane Lock even. Close a door or knock at it or whatever. It doesn't say that it's a... There are not that many ritual spells, by the way. Most of this we can't even use, and all of the cool ones we also can't really use. So the idea is to keep the scrolls usable for a little longer. Oh, hold person. Ooh. Ooh. Tricky, 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 tricky. Yeah, that's one of the things that I actually want. Hold monster doesn't want to work. Gust of wind. Oh, nice. Anyway, what else we got? Oh, that's a good one. So planar binding, yada 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 da 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 da. But yeah, the idea is to only use tricky, gimmicky kind of spells and no other ones that are maybe a bit too powerful. Wait, what? It's a level 6 spell. Jesus, that's powerful. Okay. Thunder Wave, very funny. So the maximum might be level 3, if anything. Thinking Cloud. Fog Cloud, Grease Cloud. Oh, and Shatter. Damage only by creatures and objects. Creatures made of inorganic material. Ha 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 ha. Have disadvantage on their saving throw. But they don't take more damage. So yeah. Seeming doesn't work. Sadly. Oh, see invisibility doesn't. We don't need that. Scorching Ray, same thing. Oh, remove curses could be somewhat usable. Misty Step. Ah, and Misty Step. Bonus action even. That is good. Oh, I love that one. Because it's a bonus action, we can go all over the place. Oh, this is good, this is good, this is good. So I'm gonna use tricky things. Let the character do gimmicky stuff, because this is not damage related. I just want to use it in order to switch it up in combat a little bit. And the always crit is a very good preparation for other characters. Oh boy, that's amazing. Oh, and Blur. Attackers have disadvantage on attack. Everything in here is concentration. But anyway. Oh, wait, what? Necromancy cantrip. Oh! So there are cantrips on the scrolls. And I can get Fireball. Oh, this is cool. Oh, this is amazing. I think I'm gonna spend a little bit of gold here. Just in case. Can no longer be lockpicked or opened with knock. Wait, what? Closed door or container with a magical lock. Can no longer be lockpicked or opened with knock. And then there's knock. Where's knock? K knock. There. Unlock an object that is held shut by a mundane lock. That's probably an even better lock. But yeah. We have dexterity for this. Like the thing is, the character that we have made is just such a amassment of different attributes, abilities, whatever, that it doesn't really make sense, except for a very special case, right? We have a very specific set of skills. Anyway, we're gonna end this episode and continue in the next one. Until then, like and subscribe as usual, and ta-ta!